Welcome to JC's Real Talk Podcast.
Hey guys, this is Coach JC again. I'm here to officially launch my JC Real Talk Podcast. Now, I know it's not a podcast unless you have other people sitting here, but I figured I would start this by just introducing myself. I have been in the fitness industry for 30 plus years. So I've been in the business of people for 30 plus years. And with that in mind, I figured that I have lots of conversations with lots of people throughout my days and just in general. And I gather a lot of information from the people I talk to, as well as I share a lot of information with people that I talk to. So I figured that some of these conversations that I'm having with my clients and friends probably need to be put out there so people can maybe gather a very universal view about life in general. You know, people who know me knows that my wife wants to call me like a blue collar gangster. I'm not really a gangster at all. I am just a regular young man who grew up in the Southern California, or like she says, say Compton. And I actually chose to put myself in a better situation to not be a product of my environment. So I grew up a single mother who had two little boys, me and my brother. And, you know, she did the best she could, kind of getting us going in the right direction. And, you know, we were kind of, I won't say victims, but we were products of our environment growing up. You know, we were two bad little boys whose mom worked all the time, and we just kind of got into trouble here and there. Nothing major, you know, nothing that we couldn't come back from. But it was definitely life lessons being learned as a young boy in South Central Los Angeles trying to grow up and find our way. So as I got older and got in high school, I was actually able to find and drill down on the things that I found were important. I was really good at math for some strange reason, so much that I took math every single summer in order to actually get better at it. I like numbers, so I went to calculus through my senior year, so I was really good at putting numbers together. I did a lot of crazy things outside of school that, you know, probably was not proud of, but, you know, I was able to actually kind of drill down and make good decisions. I surrounded myself with a group of individuals that were really more focused on getting their education. So I took classes that were like advanced or gifted level classes because, you know, even though it didn't seem like it, I was smarter than I looked. Like now, I'm really smarter than I look. So hanging out with these people, these young men, they helped me focus more on the important things. And I was able to actually apply to multiple colleges. I applied to local ones, Cal State LA, Cal State Domingos Hills, Northridge, colleges that were really close to me. But I also applied to Sonoma State University. I chose Sonoma State University because it was 8 hours away. I figured if I was going to change, that I need to create some change in my life. So if I moved further away from where I grew up and the environment I was in, then things would change. So I went to Sonoma State, and it was pretty interesting because being an inner city kid, they had helped you get into college. So I was involved in what's called a UOP program. And since the UOP program was helping me, I was allowed to attend Summer Bridge. So I got 30 days of what college was going to be like prior to going to college. So inner city kid going to Sonoma State, you know, which is primarily not Black environment. You know, it was pretty interesting for me to experience all this new stuff. Now, I should caveat this. Back in 1989, we were starting the Back to Africa movement. So, you know, we were wearing our medallions and, you know, Public Enemy had just came out, you know, Ice Cube was, you know, fuck the police and that type of stuff. So that was the environment we were dealing with, trying to redefine ourselves and kind of get back to our roots. Well, when I went to Sonoma State, all the people that were helping me weren't African American. There were people of all different nationalities and races. So I had to reel it in and really put in perspective what I was there to try to accomplish was to just get a higher education. So I went to Sonoma State from 1989 to about 91, 92 when I got involved in the workforce. I actually got a job working at a home for developmentally disabled adults where I kind of, found my footing and doing something I really enjoyed. Helping mentally disabled was really where I first found that I really like to help people and kind of get in a groove of trying to make a difference. So I did that for a little while. And then from there, I moved on to getting involved in another realm to help people. I thought about going into nursing because I figured that mental health, or I should say helping developing disabled people was one aspect, but I wanted to kind of help, regular people as well. While I was working at 24 Hour Fitness, I actually had a job at 24 Hour Fitness as well as I had a job working as a certified nurse's aide. Started at Creekside Convalescent Home, helping these people. It was pretty sad because the people that were in the convalescent home weren't really cared for as much as they should be. So because I had connections, I went from Creekside Convalescent Home to Santa Rosa Memorial Hospital. Now I'm on the med surg floor where people are doing outpatient-like surgeries. And this was pretty interesting because I wanted to actually become a nurse. So doing this, I was pretty excited to learn something new, become a nurse, get paid a lot of money. But once again, it was pretty interesting what I learned while I was there. I would help people with acute injuries kind of get themselves back into a regular life after having surgeries. And one of the key things that kind of was a turning point in me getting to where I'm today was there was a 39-year-old lady who came in who broke her hip in her backyard. Now, it didn't make sense that this young person, in my eyes, had hurt herself in the backyard, but it was because she didn't really do any type of exercise. So basically, she broke her hip in her backyard, came in for outpatient surgery, came there. She was there with me for about a month or so, and then she came back after she went through all the process to get out. And when she came back, she ended up passing away to complications due to the surgery she had. And I was like, man, this sucks. And this happened multiple times. And I was like, man, I wish there was something I could do so these people that I didn't think that was old could actually help them get into a position where they could actually not injure themselves. Well, I was working out at 24 Hour Fitness, so I kept bugging the 24 Hour Fitness manager to finally give me a job. I'm like, dude, I can do this. After about 6 months, he finally gave me a job as a personal trainer. So I'm like, now I can make a difference. Well, kind of sort of make a difference. When you train people like that, like I train myself, and they don't come back, that's not a thing. What I mean by that is I was training on my clients like I trained. So I would do 7 leg exercises and heavy as I could. And I would train every new client exactly how I trained myself. That didn't work out too well because obviously they wouldn't come back because they were so sore because they were hurt. So over time, I finally got into a groove where I actually learned how to develop workout programs based around what they could and couldn't do. And then I was able to actually find a unique niche to actually start to create my own type of plan. I worked for 24 Hour Fitness from roughly 1991, 92 till about 1993, 4, somewhere in there. And then I worked at 24 Hour Fitness for a length of time I can't even remember at this point. But in about 2003, I got to a point where the messaging was not what I believed in as much, so I decided to move on and do something else. Those who guys took time to know me know we got into the real estate business, and like everyone else and my friends, we went from 24 Hour Fitness to the real estate business where for a good 3-4 year run, we made a lot of money. Had a lot of fun. When the market crashed, it wasn't as fun. So after the market crashed, I had to figure out a way to do something I was passionate about. Well, I was always passionate about fitness. So after the market crashed, I found myself back working at a gym in Folsom called Folsom Health and Wellness, where I was starting my groove again and trying to figure out what I needed to do, developing programs, helping people get in shape. We had a lot of people that were coming to us from a nearby rehab center that fed us. So there were people coming in all the time, and we were able to kind of get in. I was able to get back into my groove of helping people work out. And then in 2009, I got an opportunity to open up my own gym in East Sac, which was named Elite Fitness and Performance. So basically, I ran my own personal training studio from 2009 till 2019, 10 plus years. When the pandemic hit, everything went downhill. Nobody wanted to come to the gym because, the coronavirus kind of scared everybody and nobody was really coming to the gym. They were just kind of a little bit more scared staying at home, obviously because there was a virus that was affecting the whole world. So a lot of people didn't exercise. I kept it really going because I moved from that gym to another gym I currently work at called Joe's Fitness Revolution, which was fitness systems, where the person who owned that gym specifically was like, I'm not shutting down. So I was able to just take my theories and processes of training people to there and just kind of just continue to move in the direction with that I thought would be helping people and helping them stay focused on getting healthy while people were not working out and staying at home during a pandemic. So that brings me fast forward to where we are now. You know, I still currently work train people at Joe's Fitness Revolution. I currently train people at Iron Addiction, and my clients range from, you know, my youngest sports specific client is 12 years old. My oldest client, Lane, is 82 years old. So I usually can help any and everybody in regards to their fitness goals. In the bigger picture, I've geared my training and my coaching more toward mindset and motivation, which is obviously what you guys see. I changed all of my hand tattoos now because that's ultimately what I do. You know, I help you get your mind right and keep you motivated to move toward whichever goals you are. If those goals are mindset focused, I focus on that. If they're fitness focused, I focus on that. Some people come to me because, you know, I'm really good with people. So I help them focus on relationship advice or any type of coaching I can do to help people become a better version of themselves. So, I have recently informed people that my purpose for my business is basically to help people become the best version of themselves while dealing with past and current trauma and finding and creating boundaries while maintaining their peace. So when you are working with me, that's my ultimate goal, to help you become the best version of yourself. So I hope you guys will enjoy JC's Real Talk podcast, that I'll start putting some of these out. And after some episodes, I'll start bringing on guests. I just want to really just take the time to introduce myself and give some information out there in the background of where I come from. And hopefully you guys will enjoy the information I have to share with you. Peace.